Hello, and welcome to Tech Server Nerd. How you guys doing today? Doing great over here. So I have a little video for you beforehand. I just need to make a little bit of disclosure that we're going to be talking about COVID-19. We're going to talk about Dr. Fauci. Talk about the vaccine. I am reading articles from mainstream media, so these aren't opinions, but they will be jokes, and I might, but um, I'm not a doctor. Don't take advice from me. If you're taking advice from the show, that's man, I feel bad for you, But so anyway, with that, this is nothing serious. This is just us talking about information that is readily available to everybody. So let's get to the news. Fauci says that there are 5 stages of the COVID pandemic, and we are still in phase 1. Yes, we have just begun, and this is going to be the next decade of our lives. Never miss a story. Follow your favorite top. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the top medical advisor to President Biden, said that this week that we are still in the first 5 stages of a pandemic, and he cautions against thinking we are farther along than we actually are. Oh, thanks, Fortune. The first phase of the pandemic, or the truly pandemic, according to Fauci, is where the whole world is really very negatively impacted as we are right now. He said Monday the World Economic Forum's Davos Agenda online conference. Oh, so this is at the World Economic Forum. Very interesting, Davos. I should do a whole video on the World Economic Forum because very interesting entity. Very New World Ordery. But that's what that is. The following 4 steps are deceleration, control, elimination, and finally eradication. Here are the characteristics of the 4 stages. Deceleration. After the first phase, which we are in, apparently according to Dr. Fauci, the first phase comes deceleration. So we'll see a slowdown of the number of newly confirmed cases. So less people getting it. Let's see, is it going to tell us about all of them? Okay. We'll read a little bit of this, then we'll go to the next one. Omicron cases have risen steeply and then dropped off in many countries where the variant took hold. In South Africa, the 4th Omicron-fueled COVID wave lasted only a total of 3 weeks, and COVID hospitalizations in England have already begun to recede, just 1 month after the almost vertical climb starting mid-December. All right. The next phase following deceleration is the control phase of the pandemic, or what some are referring to as endemicity. That means that COVID-19 would become integrated with a broad range of infectious diseases we commonly experience, like the cold and the common flu. Elimination. The elimination of a pandemic occurs when the virus still exists in the world, but it has been eradicated from certain regions or countries. Fauci gives the example of polio, which has been eradicated from many countries in the global north. Then eradication. The last stage is eradication is nearly impossible to reach. Fauci notes smallpox was the only infectious human disease that has ever been eradicated, and he said outright that regarding COVID, that's not going to happen with this virus. So we're going to see that it's going to continue to play out and that we're going to continue to see things. We're only in the first stage now. Here's the thing that we're working out politically in the world is how that's going to affect, human rights and, within society. And I mean, it's had a lot of effect on that, and how long or how far that's going to go, because this pandemic, and I'm not going to be surprised if we see another that's actually worse. That's something else here in the next few years. I have a feeling we're going to deal with a lot of diseases because governments are getting a lot of power from these diseases, So here we go. This is from CNN Health. I think this was yesterday, June 18th, 2022. It was Tuesday. Omicron might mark the end of COVID-19's pandemic phase, unless a certain scenario happens, Fauci says. So a little bit more optimistic, but keep in mind that it's saying COVID-19's pandemic stage, that Omicron is the end of it, like the last, possibly, might be. I'm not saying it is, but let's read this real quick. It's still too early to predict whether Omicron's rapid spread will help push coronavirus from the pandemic phase to the more manageable endemic phase. But I would hope that that's the case, Dr. Fauci said Monday. A disease that is endemic has a constant presence in the population, but does not affect an alarmingly large number of people or disrupt society, as typically seen in the pandemic. Since Omicron is highly transmissible, but apparently less likely to cause a severe disease, some previous variants, it could mark a transition from this COVID-19 pandemic chapter to an endemic phase. So, CNN's trying to be a little happy over here. But that would only be the case, dun dun dun, if we don't get another variant that eludes the immune system to the prior variant, which I kind of thought that Omicron was. Again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, but I remember reading that, and that Omicron didn't have the same immune response as the original, and Delta did. The virtual event this week held by the World Economic Forum. Yay, we're getting money out of the World Economic Forum. That's when we know we're getting the truth, guys. We were fortunate that Omicron, I keep wanting to say Omicron because I think of Unicron, like from Transformers, like this is like the Transformer variant, but whatever. That Omicron did not share some of the same characteristics as Delta, Fauci said. Okay, so exactly what I said, they're saying that was true, but a sheer volume of people who are getting infected overrides that rather less level of pathogenicity. Okay, good. So that was right. That it was a little bit different, but since so many people got infected, we're getting immune faster. I believe that's what this is saying. It is an open question as to whether or not Omicron is going to be a live virus vaccination that everyone is hoping for, because you have a great deal of variability with new variants emerging, he said. So I'm, again, not a scientist, but what I'm assuming he's saying here is that so many people get it that we get it vaccinated because of the antibodies of having it, not having to go get a vaccination. If or not Omicron is going to be a live virus vaccination that everyone is hoping for. Yeah, that's what I'm reading there. That does not mean that people should intentionally try to get the Omicron variant. Doctors say it's a terrible idea for several reasons. And it doesn't mean that the battle against COVID-19 is over, especially as overwhelmed hospitals delay effective surgeries and schools switch to remote learning. All stuff that we already knew. All right? Could Omicron end the COVID-19 pandemic? It's too early to tell. This was today at 1:10. It's a couple hours ago. Dr. Anthony Fauci said it's too early to know the Omicron variant signals the end of COVID-19 pandemic. The Omicron variant's role in ending the COVID-19 pandemic remains unclear, even as some interpret the variant's quick spread as a sign that the virus will soon be endemic. The news. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the White House medical advisor on coronavirus, said Omicron variant could impact the level of immunity for people in the United States. So, yes, it sounds like he's literally saying that if enough people get this Omicron, we might be seeing it go into an endemic where it still exists because it's not going anywhere. Now, here's my question: is how are vax mandates going to work out then? Like, if we've got herd immunity, we can stop the vax mandates, right? We can quit. We can start doing other things. That looks like what I'm reading here. I would hope so, but most likely when you get rid of rights, you hardly ever get them back. It's easier to change the system than it is and try to build up a new system. So here we go. Hold on. But it is an open question as to whether or not Omicron is going to be the live virus vaccination that everyone is hoping for, because you have such a great deal of variability in the new variants emerging. Fauci said, per the New York Times. I can't read the word variants and not think of Loki and see like Tom Cruise's Iron Man, I don't know. I would hope that that's the case, he said. But that would only be the case if we don't get another variant that eludes the immune response. The answer is we don't know. So yes, we're still in the dark. We don't know what's going on. That pretty much sounds like every other month for the past 2 years. To be honest, I think that honestly, the longer that they keep this going, the better it's going to be for government control and doing some of the stuff that they want to do behind the scenes because they'll have more power. And that, yeah, I'm not going to, I mean, just vote. Figure out what you want to do and vote. And vote to get, because, I mean, this is a discussion worth having. I don't know the answer, I don't know the solution. I'm also not a doctor, you know. It would be nice if we get, a live virus vaccination where we do not have to, uh, everyone doesn't have to go to the doctor to get vaxxed. They can just trust, Mother Nature did her job and we're all good to go. But I don't know. I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know where this is going to end. I have a feeling it's just going to end in tyranny. But I don't know. I'm just here to talk about the news. So, guys, I appreciate it. That's all on this. Please do like, share, and subscribe. And I really appreciate y'all sticking with me. I'm going to continue to do this. I am going back to work tomorrow, so not going to have as much time. I'm still going to try to do 1 to 2 videos a day. 1 to 2 videos a day is my goal every day. But we'll see what happens. Talk to you soon.